Back in the 60s, Steve McQueen took a Triumph into the desert, and that's where Triumph got their nickname of being the original desert sled. But Triumph was also the original motorcycle manufacturer that had a scrambler in their lineup. Today it's quite the rage. I think every motorcycle manufacturer has a scrambler. However, the company with the true DNA when it comes to building scramblers must be Triumph. And this in front of me here is a Scrambler 1200 XE, top of the range, with all the DNA and heritage of Triumph's scramblers. Before we get going, if I can just ask you, please remember to click that subscribe button and that reminder bell to help us build this channel. Where do we start with this bike? Okay, model designation Triumph Scrambler 1200 XE. They have an XC, which is the road on off-road, but the XE is the top of the range, which is more hardcore and extreme when it comes to the off-road. Couple of things: the XE has the off-road pro rider mode, where you can switch off your ABS and your traction control and really have a lot of fun. Also, you have the more extreme suspension with, instead of 200mm, 250mm travel front and rear. Front you have these showers with 250mm travel, and at the rear you have the Olins with 250mm travel. You have your spoked wheels front and rear, 21-inch spoked wheel front, 17-inch wheel at the back, shod with a 90 and a 150. Also have a look at these brakes. Brembo M50, I think it's the same as on the RS Speed Triple. So really stunning. The motor on this bike comes off the Bonneville T120. It's a 1200cc motor producing 89 horsepower at 7,400 RPMs, torque of 110 from, I think it is 3,950, really low, high torque RPM. It is the parallel twin liquid cooled motor. Stunning. Look at these two headers, 2x2 headers out like this, parallel to. This is a standard pipe. This pipe has been decatted, so it sounds really good. The only option fitted to this bike would be the touring screen up front here. Obviously the height of the bike, it's quite a tall bike, having the 250mm travel front and rear. You have an 870mm height seat height, so when you're 6 foot like myself, you have knees bent and both feet are flat on the ground. Stunning. 270 kilos dry weight on this bike. It has a rather nice, large and tall tank as per the old Triumph Scramblers. 16 liters, all round stunning. If you have a look at the TFT, here you see from the Rocket 3 that we tested, and stunning. If we go to the front, you have the LED with the daytime running light. You'll see that radiator tucked away so you don't really even notice it. Stunning. Your full color TFT, you will know this from the Rocket. Now all these brushed aluminium, everything is standard brushed aluminium here. The Monza inspired filler cap in brushed aluminium. This tank strap brushed. All these heat shields brushed aluminium. Even your rear mudguard brushed aluminium. The extended longer aluminium rear swing arm, proper machine. Even the bash plate is standard on this XE down at the bottom. This is a well thought out bike. When it comes to the electronic package, there's nothing lacking on this bike. You have your 6 rider modes. You have your road, rain, off-road, sport, everything you want. And the XE has the off-road pro, as mentioned before, where you can switch off your traction and your ABS. It has the full color TFT. It has ABS dual channels, so for cornering ABS, cornering traction, all LED. The switches are backlit. It has a torque assist clutch, which helps you with fatigue, so you don't get fatigue. Keyless ignition, heated grips, cruise control, USB charging port, integrated GoPro, which is a first for motorcycle, turn-by-turn navigation, which is a first for motorcycles, and with the Triumph app you download, you get integrated phone and music operation. So really cool. The colors, I think, on the 2021 was this cobalt blue with the jet black, and then you got the white over here with the Brooklands green. And awesome. If you just have a look at this bike, this tall tank, very retro Triumph. You have your bench seat at the back, these high exhausts, 21-inch wheel, 17 at the back, bash plate at the bottom, proper 1200 motor, 110 newton meter torque, really 250mm travel front and back, 207 kilogram weight. So it is a weighty bike, but proper build quality Triumph. I think let's stop waffling, let's get on the bike and go for a ride. This clock is really stunning, and it definitely suits the Scrambler better than a rectangular or square TFT wood like everybody has today. I've ridden this bike a little bit before reviewing it now, and I must say the seating position is absolutely relaxed, totally relaxed. I feel very much like I'm sitting on an adventure bike. Upright, handlebars are high, they're wide. I think these bars are wider than the XC model on the XE, this one. The guards on the side here, standard. Everything you see here standard, except for this little screen in front of us here. Extremely well spec bike. Looked like he was going through. The torquey motor, you can feel that punch. This exhaust being decatted has definitely got a better sound to it. I enjoy this seating position. You don't feel like an old man, you feel young and like you're going to ride all day. The suspension, even though it has 250mm travel, doesn't feel like it's wallowing around and bouncing you up and down. It's nice and stiffly sprung. Most people use a Scrambler like this 70 or 80% on-road and 20 or 30% off-road, mucking around on sand roads and doing a little bit of bundu bashing, as we call it here in South Africa. So we're really gonna review it and test it on the road. I think what we're going to do is hit the highway a little and see how she performs on a highway. This torquey motor is quite punchy, it's nice. Come on, come out strong. The dash is stunning. This dash suits this bike. These big rectangular TFTs, full color, as pretty as they are today, like every motorcycle manufacturer has, would not suit this style of bike. This just works proper. That round look, it just retro, goes with this retro Scrambler look and feel. Stunning. Love the detail that Triumph puts in it. Looking at this tank here in front of us with this strap and this filler cap, how different it is. I love the off-centered petrol cap. Really stunning bike. I'm now at 120, and I must say this screen does its job. It looks rather small, but the wind is really deflected. It's very effective. So definitely recommend that option. Of the 180 options, I mean, you have saddlebags and all of that, so spec it, make this bike your own. Rolling on here as went. I don't think the top speed would be too much on this bike, but enough to get you into trouble and cost you unnecessary money in fines. Yeah, the bike handles beautifully. Really go wild. Everyone's too slow. Look at this bike. It just makes you want to misbehave. It just wants to bring out that kid inside of you. You want to pop the front wheel. It has has traction control, so you know you can really get on that throttle with confidence. You just set your rider modes, dial the bike into what you want. I'm surprised, even with this really good suspension, 250mm front and rear, this bike feels good. It's not wallowing around. I'm sure you can set it for the off-road, but scrambling around here on the highway does a perfect job. Commuting, lane splitting. I can definitely feel that the high exhaust on the right hand side by my right thigh, if you're riding slowly, it does get a bit warm, and even if you move your leg out a little bit, you move your knee out to get fresh air, cool air on your inner thigh, that sorts that problem. However, on the highway at 100 plus, you don't really want to do that. But you can't have everything. I'll gladly sacrifice that little bit heat on my thigh for the sheer good looks. This is exquisite. I don't own a Scrambler in my collection, but this particular bike makes me rethink that strategy on the collection we've got going. Overall, really nice. The tank is wide enough, it's not too slim. Love the cap off center, love the strap, the clocks, the mirrors are really good. Old school, the way they come out on these stalks, but they're really above your elbows. Elbows don't interfere. You can ride in the off-road with the elbows out position. This bike is very much the feel of a naked adventure bike. It's quite slim, doesn't have nerf bars, doesn't have panniers, but other than that, sitting here you feel like you're on an adventure bike. And the only other bike that I can compare it to where I felt as confident running around in traffic, taking it a bit off-road, cruising around, was the Moto Guzzi V85. So that was also that particular bike is an adventure bike, but it was also a very, very slim and rather small bike when it comes to adventure bikes. But this, being a scrambler, is a dual purpose scrambler slash adventure bike. I'm sure with one of those or a couple of those 80 plus accessories Triumph has in their accessories catalog for the scrambler, you can really get this bike out and make this an adventure bike for weekends and your tours, and then take it all off, have us in a scrambler guise for Monday to Friday, commuting to work and back, and then hitting the back roads and the dirt roads and having some fun on those days when you want to behave like a kid. This is a really great handling bike. You can really throw it around from left to right, and it hides its weight. It is nimble, and even though it's a tall bike, seat height being 870, it's really at my height 6 foot. Have a look at that, both feet flat on the ground, bent knees, and I am comfortable. The suspension is quite stiff. This bench seat could be a little bit softer if you're going for longer rides, 300 kilometers plus. If you're going touring or adventure riding, could be get a bit firm or hard at that time. But other than that, no complaints. I love the way this suspension hides the massive travel it has. The weight is hidden so well. I mean, this you can throw around, it's nimble, it's playful, and the torquiness of this motor, you just want to like bomb it on the throttle and get out of corners and just roll it on hard as you jump out of the corners, allowing traction to just help you. But you just want to ride this thing on the torque curve. Not bad on the highways, good speed. I definitely recommend this screen because I really haven't been buffeted that hard by wind. I do feel a little bit, it's crisp, the air today, so I do feel my shoulders are getting chilly. However, the rest of me is completely happy. So this tiny screen, as small as it is super effective. And all around, what a bike. I'm definitely rethinking my strategy, as in my Route 21 collection I don't currently have a scrambler, and I know many manufacturers are producing scramblers, and this is just something else. Just jump it on. Oh. Really, the little boy comes out and you want to actually pop this thing onto its back wheel. The brakes, I haven't mentioned them, really powerful if you grab a handful. Good brakes. So everything from suspension to brakes to the motor. I mean, if you're really a speed freak and you do like 200 plus kilometers an hour on a motorcycle, I will definitely recommend don't get the Scrambler, because you will struggle to get up to 200. You will struggle to maintain those speeds, but 160, 170 comes with ease, and you keep that speed no problem. The only thing that could bother you on a hot day could be this stunning exhaust. Cosmetically, I absolutely love it. At slower speeds on a hot day, it could get warm on your inner right thigh, but that's a small price to pay for the sheer good looks. You can just move your knee out like this a little bit and get cooling fresh air in, no problem. So I love this bike, I must say. Also these clocks, when I looked at them I immediately thought of the Rocket 3, the Triumph. However, they actually look like they were designed for this bike. So all round, I think Triumph once again got it spot on, and the build quality, I've mentioned it in every Triumph review, that it is just such a pleasure riding a bike like this. It's solid. Combination of old school retro on a totally modern bike with all your features and electronic rider aids, your creature comforts, sat navs, everything from essentials to nice to haves. And for a guy like me that does reviews, rides the bike and likes to use the GoPro, this is the first motorcycle that is integrated with GoPros, so definitely something for me to look at. Stunning handling. I hope you enjoyed this review and the quick ride of the Triumph Scrambler 1200 XE with us. And please guys, remember to give us a like and a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the reminder bell to help us build this channel.